Welcome friends, welcome back to the kitchen, welcome back to Sunday morning and the old cookbook show. Today we're going to do a recipe out of this 1933 cookbook put out by the Worcester Salt Company, and that is Worcester, Massachusetts, not Worcester, England. And this is a cookbook that features their salt, and it is a very highfalutin cookbook for 1933. They really want you to know that their salt is used by the top chefs in the United States of America. And also that it is used for all sorts of other things, that it has health benefits. Pretty interesting cookbook. So we start out with some milk. I need about 3 cups of milk. And I'm going to put it into this double boiler that one of our viewers sent in. Oh, that's a lot of milk. It's almost a full bag. There we go. Okay. Whenever I've needed a double boiler in the past, I just use a glass bowl over a pot of simmering water. And one of our viewers, thank you very much, took pity on me and sent this to us. So this is its trial run. Okay, so 3 cups of milk go in here. And I've got this on a medium-high heat. We're supposed to scald the milk, but I'm also supposed to add gelatin and let it dissolve into the milk as it heats. Okay, so I just want to give this a stir, and I'm going to keep an eye on it. So we're making a recipe called Spanish cream, and on this page there are 4 other cream recipes that are essentially the same, just minor variations in the flavoring. This one just has vanilla as the flavoring. So next up, I'm supposed to separate 3 eggs. And that's fairly simple. Back and forth. Yolks on one side, whites on the other. And I'm just going to give the egg yolks a bit of a beating. Won't take much. Okay, next thing is to dissolve this sugar into the milk as it heats up. So I'll just stir that in. And the beauty of a double boiler is you don't have to watch it too closely, which is fantastic. Now, while that continues to come up the temperature, I am going to beat these egg whites. Okay, I'm going to say those are egg whites beaten stiff. So I'm going to set those aside for a moment. And I'm going to temper the egg yolks, which is really simple. If you've watched any of the ice cream videos, you know that I'm of the opinion that people put too much pressure on you when you're tempering egg yolks. Go slow, dribble it in, and whisk. It's not this daunting operation that some people make it out to be. And that's it. Our egg yolks are tempered. Really simple. So the milk goes back into the pot, and our tempered egg yolks get mixed into the pot. And now we just continue this on the heat, and we stir it and watch it carefully until it starts to thicken. I think we're almost there. So this dessert is somewhere between a milk jello, a panna cotta, and a cooked custard. And this whole thing of cooking it to a point where it starts to get thick can be daunting for some people, because what is thick? And in order to set a custard, we need to get a temperature above 175 degrees Fahrenheit. And, you know, well into the 180s is definitely going to get you there. And we're at 187. So I'm going to say, I'm going to pull this off and move on to the next step. Now, you really do need to make sure that it's hot enough to set the custard, because there's not enough gelatin in here to set it on its own. Because we've got 3 cups of milk, and the amount of gelatin that we put in will only set about 2 cups of milk, so it's not strong enough to do it on its own. Now that we're off the heat, we can add the vanilla, and we stir that in. And last but not least is the salt. Now this is a salt cookbook, but it only calls for 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Just enough to enhance the other flavors, I think. So very carefully put in the salt. And if you notice in the cookbook, there's an asterisk beside the salt in the ingredient list. And then down in the footnotes, it explains that that asterisk means you should be using Worcester salt. Now the next step is to fold in the egg whites. And so in true kind of folding fashion, I'm going to put the first third in and stir those in fairly aggressively to get them into the custard. It's still pretty liquidy, so folding in the egg whites is a bit of a nightmare, but I've done the best I can. Now it says to put into a cold, wet mold. So Got this mold in the fridge. It was wet down. It's still a little bit wet. I'm going to pour this in and stick it back in the fridge until it sets. Hey, Jules.
Hey, Glenn. As always, I have arrived just on time. Hey, friends.
Spanish cream.
So drink?
From the 1930s. What year is this? 1930?
Okay, now I'm a little concerned because
1933.
It's from the Worcester.
No, it's from the Worcester salt cookbook,
Oh,
not Worcester sauce.
okay.
There's no Worcester sauce in
Okay,
this.
I
It's
was a
Worcester
little
salt.
concerned there. Oh, that's interesting.
Oh,
It looks very creamy.
Look at that.
So it's fascinating because it has like a base kind of jello-y pudding on the bottom.
So
But
it's
not jello, but it's very creamy looking. And then that. So what is that on top that gives it that foam texture there?
that's completely
different.
completely me. That is completely me. You're supposed to fold in the egg whites, and I don't think I got them folded in quite correctly, and so they've risen to the top and given that weird texture on top. But the
How do you know it wasn't supposed to happen that way?
oh no, it could be. I know. I've never had this before. This could completely be the way it's supposed to be. Who knows?
It tastes like a lovely creamy pudding.
So it's partway between a custard and a milk jello, panna cotta,
Yeah.
pudding.
It's creamy, it's chilly,
wonderful.
it's, refreshing.
I was a little worried that it only had vanilla in it. Huh. But the flavor's bang on. This is a winner. So, I would say 1933 Spanish cream is a winner, and you should give it a try. And if your family still makes something like this today, let us know how you make it and how you fold in the egg whites so you don't get that
Or
foam.
that this is what it's
Or if
supposed
that's
to be like.
what it's supposed to be like. Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.